All right, here we are for another night of Kill Team at the Transatlantic Open, brought to you by Command Point and Data Team here on Tabletop Simulator. Tonight we are playing our first semifinal matchup between Micromancer and his Astra Militarum, and Manco and his Druhkari, one of three Druhkari left. So Micro is the last bastion of hope against the Drukhari invasion of this packet. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Likewise.
Yeah. So I'm here with Shane and Ryan from Command Point. Been a while since we've had both of you on stream, I think, because it's been either one of you playing in any of the games. How you guys doing? Like, you guys looking forward to this matchup? Are you guys feeling, are you sad that you're not in this matchup, Ryan? Or
Of
what's your guys'
course.
feelings about this?
No, it's always a pleasure to watch Micro play. So I'm looking forward to commentate this match. That's the bright side to not, I guess, playing this match.
Yeah.
So these are actually, I was going to say, Ryan, these are the two players in the tournament that you lost to, um, Manco and Micro. So that's kind of an interesting.
Oh, Manco was your mirror matchup in groups then, yeah?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right. All right.
Guess you could have some perspective there.
Yeah.
I haven't played against Manco, I don't believe, but he. I know that there's a lot of talk about Druhkari and how like how rampant they've been during this tournament, but it is worth noting that not all Druhkari are created equal, and Manco's roster is a good example of that. He's actually not running the any Cabalites, any Flayed Skull, which has kind of been one of the primary things that we've been seeing over and over again from the Druhkari. His whole roster is just Prophets of Flesh. He actually has the option to take a lot of racks. I haven't seen him do that yet. He's actually adhered pretty strictly to the Mandrake spam, which Ryan, you saw him play that against you. Every game that I've seen him run, he's played that Mandrake spam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mandrake spam is it's not bad in any given situation. I don't think it's a terrible choice.
Yeah. And I'd say the same about the racks, right? Considering before really this tournament and maybe a little bit before BAO, most of what we were seeing out of Drukhari was that rack spam, correct? That was a lot of what we were seeing out of them, at least what I saw of them at SoCal Open and things like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe I remember for a time rack spam was like the way to go with Drukhari, especially right after Elites came out, and there was a rather obvious misprint, I think, giving them it was like either strength or toughness 5 or something crazy like that. Some sort of misprint that just made them absolutely ridiculous models, and they were FAQ'd shortly after that.
Yeah. So really quick look at the bracket here. The other semifinal that we do have is Dangerfro and his Drukhari versus our own Shane and his Drukhari. So we could be looking at, well, there's two options here. Uh, we're gonna get a full Drukhari final, or we could potentially see, well, it could be a non-Drukhari final without Shane too. That is possible. I don't want to seem biased here, Anthony, but we are staring down the gun of a rematch of the Bay Area Open finals between yourself and Micro. Are you looking forward to that? Would you rather play another mirror matchup against Manco and prove yourself the best of the best when it comes to Drukhari, or what are your thoughts on that matchup there, Shane?
man, none of it sounds exciting to me. I just wish there was some other timeline. Um, no, I mean, mirror matches are not fun. At the very least, though, I can say at the very that my Drukhari roster and Dangerfro's Drukhari rosters are a little bit different in the way we're playing them, and I think the same goes for Manco as well. So all three players are doing something different with the faction, even if some of the core elements are the same. And then there's Micromancer's Guard, which are kind of terrifying, if I'm being honest. He's really starting to like run with that with the Rhine and Rouse, the Blackstone Fortress Guard, as I've kind of dubbed it in the past. Um, it's something
Yeah.
that I was kind of hyping up for a long time, and it's good. I mean, Rhine and Rouse are crazy.
All right.
And we're revealing, and holy
Yeah.
crap, Manco has done it. He has gone
All
all
mandrakes.
mandrakes.
Okay.
Oh
I mean,
man.
I think that's what he went in his last match as well. I could be wrong. But that was one that I don't believe we featured on here. But yeah, as you said, he's been going Mandrake heavy. We look over at what Micro's bringing, and it's pretty similar to what he's been running. He's got 3 of those hotshot volley guns. He's got his Ryan Rouse, his Gotfret. No Pious tonight, which makes sense against these guys. Yeah, how are you guys feeling about these reveals?
I like what I'm seeing from Micro. Uh, Manco, man, that's like this is like a meme list at this point, right? It's like Drukhari are viable just running a single type of unit, just a single data sheet. Um, but I think Micro's choice. I think it's like a 1-for-1 of what he wound up taking in the game against me. So you know, it's a strong choice against Mandrakes, as we've seen.
Yeah, definitely. And Shane even noticed here he has updated his Gotfret model to a Minotaur. So
Yeah,
it's gone even more chaosy over there. I'm surprised he
yeah.
hasn't found anything for Ryan and Rouse yet. But yeah, so let's take a look. Obviously, the deployment set up this way. Don't know if you guys have any thoughts or feelings on this. I wouldn't say that it necessarily, in my opinion, really benefits anybody kind of to the same degree that maybe it did against when you were playing him, Ryan, when you're Drukhari versus his versus
Mm.
the Astra Militarum, where it was the long board edge. I mean, this is obviously still relatively close to that, but I think this leaves some openings for Deep Strike for both of them, and bit of an even playing field. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Shane, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that this is a much better map for Drukhari than the previous round, and even the round before that. Um, this is really the deep strike options where he can realistically put those models is actually kind of flexible. He has the option to maybe put them behind these crates. Micro is going to look to move those hotshot volley guns into those choke points as he always does. I'd imagine we're going to see one up on top of the crate. We're going to see one up on that north side of the board, and then one on the right side of the board. I don't know which direction you're looking. It would be east, I guess, for me. But what's nice is it's actually quite easy for Manco to deep strike his mandrakes up on top of the towers, which are going to end up being kind of right in the middle, setting up good charges round 2. If Micro moves models up far enough to screen out the towers, that means Micro's moving close enough to be in danger anyway. And because of that, Manco has a little bit of flexibility here where he can actually put his models down in advantageous spots and set up for a much stronger round 2 here.
All right, let's take a look at the secondaries while they're continuing to deploy. I assume we're getting some Mandrakes put in Deep Strike. I assume, what is it, Ryan or Rouse? Rouse will be put into Deep Strike, as well as potentially those Scion hotshot volleys. But we'll check back with that in a moment. Going to take a look at Micro's secondaries. We have Domination, High Profile Targets, and Bounty Hunter. So that's pretty interesting. Domination is something he's been going, I think, pretty much any game he can that I've seen of Micros. He's been taking that and then shoving Gotfret up into the center of the board. I believe the other options were Proximity Alert and Recon Sweep. So I guess that makes sense. Maybe he didn't want to go for the Recon Sweep after how difficult it was to get into those deployment zones in the last game. But yeah,
What was it that you said he took? He took high profile,
high
domination, and
profile.
bounty hunters.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm almost surprised that he went high profile over cut apart, but I guess I can see it
Yeah.
working.
Well, he really only has what, like the one melee guy with Gotfret, so
Yeah, I
going
mean he's got Gotfret, that chainsword guy, and
yeah.
there's a few, but yeah.
So going over to Manco, he has Recon Sweep, Cut Apart, and Bounty Hunter. So they both have Bounty Hunters, but otherwise their two other secondaries are different. So we have, again, Recon Sweep, Cut Apart, and Bounty Hunters for the Drukhari.
And there's the Mandrake. I'm surprised that he didn't instantly put Mandrakes in reserve rather than just setting up like that kind of like triad that he seems to have put together right now with the veteran leader and Zealot.
Yeah, gave a little bit more information than he needed to, I guess, to Micro off the bat. Although Micro could have easily just set up his 3 guys in reserves as well. So I don't know if maybe that was his thought. Like, I don't know. It's all mind games, right? When it comes to deployment, at the end of the day, it's what
Yeah.
you do once they're set up. I think that matters a lot more than anything else. But yeah, any thoughts on the secondaries for the Drukhari, Ryan?
Let me bring them back up. So, Recon Sweep, I think it's a lot more doable on this board than the boards that we've seen previously with this kind of like diagonal deployment almost. I think there's a lot more blind spots that Micro's not going to be able to screen out to prevent Manco from deep striking in some Mandrakes and potentially fire and fading or just straight up being able to get in. So far from this deployment, it looks like most of Micro's models are being lined up on the line there. So I don't think we'll see a deep strike for Recon Sweep at the very least in turn 1. Cut Apart, if anything but Gotfret on this roster, I think is vulnerable to being literally cut apart. So I guess I kind of like that. And then Bounty Hunters, that goes hand in hand with Cut Apart. So it seems like Manco's whole strategy here is just going to be to swarm Micro's kill team, get inside his deployments, kill his models, and pick up those bounty tokens. Very straightforward.
Yeah, definitely. I like the idea of Cut Apart, Recon Sweep, and Bounty Hunters in this matchup, as you can kind of get all 3 of those like in coordination,
Yeah.
kind of hoarding into Micro's deployment inevitably, and getting stuck in with some of his squishier models if you can make that work.
Yeah. So when Manco started doing his deployment, did he start he kind of waited until he started putting Mandrakes in reserve, right? Kind of waited a little bit. He was putting models on the board before he was. So I really like that. And the reason I like that was just so that while Micro is deploying back at him, he needs to think, am I actually going to have to screen out here?
That is
Fortunately
true.
for Micro, like this deployment is so tight that it's a lot easier for him to screen out his own backfield. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I was thinking about in my game against Micro was I wish I had not thrown all 3 of those Mandrakes in reserve, because that on this packet, it pretty much telegraphs to your opponent, you're going for engage on all fronts. If that's a secondary option and you're playing Drukhari, it's pretty well telegraphed. And then so that just enables your opponent to screen out against it. And then I guess the same thing kind of applies with Recon Sweep here.
Now, is there any scenario where you wouldn't deep strike any of them at all? Like, to kind of like you were saying, and I was saying the mind games kind of with him setting up these models initially before setting up the models in deep strike. Is there any situation where you would go, okay, I've set up these models, I've seen what Micro's doing. Maybe it's better if I don't deep strike these guys. Maybe I don't want them to be hamstrung, because the reality is you're spending a CP, and then in some of these scenarios, they come in a similar position to that they could have advanced towards, right? Or they could have even walked to in some scenarios.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if there's a situation where I would completely deploy all of them on the board. I think I would still want to keep 3 in reserve. And the reason for that is that this is, I guess, taking into consideration you have engage on all fronts as a secondary option. Manco doesn't have that here, but in this hypothetical, you want to keep those Mandrakes in reserve, not even to deep strike them, but just to you advance the rest of your units out into the 2 or 3 board quarters, and then you keep those 3 that you have in reserve, and you just set them up in your own kind of like board quarters, basically on your side of the board. So turn 1, you're going to be scoring engage on all fronts, and you're minimizing your opponent's ability to screen out engage on all fronts against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, to some extent, right? You're also keeping him from deep striking into your back lines because he's got
Right.
that crazy grenade. He's got those hotshot volley guns. There's a number of things at play here. Obviously,
Ooh.
we've seen the power of this shooting against Druhkari. Not as good of a matchup with the map that you had to play on, but you know we haven't really seen a game. I guess you could go look at the Thousand Suns, right? But over the course of 4 turns, that shooting turned around on him, but he couldn't take that,
Yeah.
Zangor out of action. We could still see a night where Micro's dice just kind of fail him, right? And he has a tough time hitting with some of these, especially against an all Mandrake team. Everybody's a -1 just right off the bat.
I really like that veteran move from the Mandrake. We didn't really talk about it, but
Yeah, it
Mandrakes
kind of
are one of the
happened.
few they're one of the few models on this packet that can actually reliably vet move charge just because of that 8-inch movement. And I honestly didn't even think about it until I just saw him do it. Really interesting. And now it's suddenly a massive danger for Micro to come closer to that part of the board.
Yeah, and it looks like
Yeah,
were those rolls for the initiative here? Is that what we have?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so that's what, 7 and 6. So it looks like Micro is going to be going first.
Yeah.
It's the text is 1 1s and 1 6s and 1 2s and 1 4s. So it took me a moment to do some
yeah.
basic math there. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I think
Forgive me if I'm misremembering here, but this is the Ibericon packet that we're using. So that veteran Mandrake, he's not going to be able to charge this turn,
no,
correct?
he will because he only moved. He didn't advance with his vet move.
Yeah, because he has the
Oh,
8-inch
right,
movement. Yeah,
right.
so as long as you didn't advance, you are available for the charge. So we are getting into the first turn. I'm going to hand the reins over to you guys. I'll be jumping back in periodically through the stream. I'm going to take a listen to see what's going on with them and take it away, gents.
All right, thank you.
All right. So, all right. So it looks like I don't know if Manco there was considering a decisive move. I wouldn't if I was in his position.
Yeah,
Because Micro having to go first here. I mean, this is like the perfect first, like, I guess, opening for Manco, in my opinion.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, and Micro's already
now,
considering dragging Gotfret over there just to protect his team.
yeah,
Yeah. Apparently, from we're getting word that Micro did say to Manco that he was not expecting that vet move there. I was not expecting it. So, and I have a veteran Mandrake on my roster, so
yeah.
it's not something that I've done this tournament, but
No,
I've
yeah,
thought about it. I mean, I've humored the possibility. It's pretty nice. Was that an advance?
I believe so.
He just advanced the hot shot volley gun. I guess he could use the order, but
You can use the is it like steady aim? I don't know what the order of you shoot even though you advanced.
Is that an order? I know there's
yeah,
you can shoot even if you fell back. I'm trying to
yeah.
remember now. I'm going to look that up while you go over what's going on.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the stars are aligning, at least in this turn 1 initiative phase, movement phase here for Manco here. He was able to get one of his mandrakes onto that bottom right objective, putting pressure on Micro to I guess, do something to threaten that model, and that's what he's doing here, advancing that Guardsman Flamer Gunner up that side of the board. And then here's the thing, is that it's perfect for Manco because he'll be able to just react to whatever Micro is able to do. Gotfret isn't going to be able to charge into anything. And Micro doesn't really want to like press into the board too much for fear of being either charged or just having Mandrakes get readied up and be able to shoot prior to him, or just like there's so many things that Micro needs to consider, and I feel like he has to play like really conservatively here with his models. You already see,
does.
Yeah, Rhine up there has been readied up. One of the hotshot volley gunners has been readied up. I have to wait and see what he does with Gotfret.
All right.
Yeah, this is somewhat of a gift here for Manco. I like this position that he's in.
So just really quickly, I'm back on the mic here. The rules check here, it is forwards for the Emperor. The model can shoot even if it advanced in the previous movement phase. So there you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I'm
I
to the
thought
point
there was
with
something.
Imperial Guard where it's like, I just assume they have an order for every situation, or some sort of mechanic that bails them out and allows them to just like break the game in ways that other factions can't. Is that fair to say, Shane?
Yeah, no. The Blackstone Guard, as I'm going to call it from now on, is just the combination of melee models and shooty models and like dual threats on the roster, combined with the action economy from these orders. It is ridiculously strong, like just absurdly good.
Yeah.
And with the orders, it's just the flexibility that you have is off the charts. And then you've got Ryan and Rouse scampering around. You know, it's a very hard list to play against.
Yeah. So it looks like Gotfret here is advancing.
Unsurprisingly,
that
right
middle
into
objective.
the middle.
Yep, trying to pick up that turn 1 domination.
Yeah, which he will get that forever and always.
Yes, no doubt.
Micro seems pretty confident in just kind of playing conservatively and screening out deep strikes. I think that kind of plays into his hands anyway. Manco will certainly be able to at least deny hold more, if not get hold 1. You've got some question marks here now with the Mandrake over the Mandrake veteran. He's not going to charge into that flamer, or at least he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to charge into Gotfret, and those are the only 2 options that he has to charge into right now. Maybe we can see him just kind of back up and 8.1 inches away from the flamer and just punch a bunch of shots into him.
Yeah, that's probably.
He could charge. Yeah, he could charge onto that gun in the back, but it's going to be like I believe it was like 8 point something away. So you're looking at a 10 to 11 inch charge without rerolls yet. So it's a tough one. You also have to consider that if he does go through with the Mandrake Deep Strike, he will go down to 0 CP because he vet moved.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into Manco's movement. Micro seems finished with just about everything. A lot of options here. So I've always said that it really isn't that bad to not play for the objectives that much on this board. As long as you're able to put yourself in a position where you can get hold 1 and kill 1, you're at least going to go even. And I think this is a board state where that might be the play for Manco here.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe just back your models up a little bit from that flamer. Take the pot shots that you can. Set up like winning firefights for yourself, as in like not getting shot by the volley guns.
Mm-hmm.
And just try and get hold one, kill one. Don't let him get kill one, because that you can definitely deny it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Scion Deep Strike isn't going to come into play here, obviously, for Micro, because he's neglected to put any of his 3 Scions in reserve. It doesn't shock me too much, just because if you look at his 3 Scions, it's the hotshot volley guns, and he knows exactly where he wants those. He wants them sitting on some part of near his deployment, just kind of camping out, pitching a tent, pointing a gun at some part of the board, and not really caring about negative modifiers because you have 4 shots.
Yeah.
That is the life of the hotshot volley gun.
Just doing some aerial denial, basically. Or area denial, I should say. There's nothing flying on this map. Yeah.
Yeah, not quite. The some measurements coming down from Manco. I mean, tough choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if Manco is considering just bringing those 3 Mandrakes in on his own deployment zone and just kind of taking pot shots rather than spending the CP for the deep strike, which is looking pretty screened out anyway.
Yeah. I think that might be the best course of action here. Obviously, he's going to want to get a body on the objective closest to his deployment zone. Yeah, there's that other one there on the other side of the container. The thing is, he puts models on that, and he's going to eat a lot of hot shot volley gun shots. Well, actually, he may only eat 4 hot shot volley gun shots from the look of it. So it might be worth it just putting 2 Mandrakes on that point. Or I guess it would be a full 8, given the demos up in the tower there. We're assuming that the leader is going to be able to give him the order for forwards for the Emperor, so he'll be able to shoot. I think he's within 12 of Micro's leader, because if he's not, then he's not going to be able to. He won't be able to use forwards for the Emperor. Looking pretty far away, but he might be close enough. I cannot tell.
Where's the leader? Oh yeah, that is.
He's all the way back there. It's looking like a pretty good distance, right, Shane?
Yeah, I'm trying to eyeball it, but I don't want to measure it, obviously. He may probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I
in all
remember him
likelihood,
measuring it.
Yeah, in all likelihood, he's accounted for that. So, still no moves yet from Manco.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few plays here for Manco. I don't know.
I could see him readying up his veteran specialist, honestly.
The only issue with that is
shoot the flamer.
Yeah, the only issue with that is the flamer's within 1 inch of obscurity. So if you get to that injury roll, it's a 5 up to kill,
odds.
And then a flesh wound. The flamer doesn't care about a flesh wound. He's not rolling to hit.
Yeah. So I think even he already feels kind of invested in keeping control of that objective. But I think in all likelihood that model's either going to be dead or flesh wounded by the end of the turn. So he might be better off just bouncing it back onto his side of the board, or at the very least, outside of 8 inches from that flamer.
Right.
So he's moved up his Zealot Mandrake onto the corner of that container there. Probably looking to put shots onto either the sergeant around the corner there or the heavy shot, the hot shot volley gun.
Yeah.
Up in the
Yes.
tower there. Jeez, that is a long weapon name.
Hot shot volley gun. It is kind of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it looks like Manco has made his first move, just kind of shimmying a Mandrake up. Interesting, I suppose.
Yeah, let's see what's going on over in chat. All right. Tim is in here saying that Manco has gone full training wheels with the Mandrake spam. I don't know. I mean, even then, like this is literally, I think this is Manco's like first TTS tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
I
We got
believe he was
Benji.
in BAO, but he's a new player.
Yeah, he's a new player for sure. We've got Benji in here. We've got DeWasp in here. Yeah.
It's okay. Everybody that can criticize Manco for running the training wheels is already eliminated from this tournament. So there's really not much to to say to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you got to be careful in this movement phase. This is a crucial movement phase for both players. Yeah, there's no way that charge is. I mean, it's a 9-inch to get over there. That would be a huge victory for the Mandrake if he could get there. But
that is a long bomb charge.
Yeah.
Certainly would be unexpected, would certainly draw fire from some models that otherwise would be put into different models downrange. So I guess perhaps using that model as a distraction. I'm not sure if that's ever a good idea in Kill Team, though. Unless, of course, that model in question is Gotfret, of course. Yeah, this is
if the
this
model
is a tough
can't
spot.
die.
Yeah, the model, it just doesn't die turn one. So while we are waiting for Manco's next move.
Ooh, he readies up.
Ooh, okay. See, I could see it happening. I don't think it's the right play here, but ooh. Okay.
He's looking to move that Mandrake just 8.1 away.
Right.
Possibly.
Yeah. This is the problem with Guard, right? With this list in particular, with this team that that Micro has come with, is just the 3 hotshot volley guns just being able to point in any direction basically on this very wide open board. It makes movement very, very difficult.
Yep. I mean, this is kind of the end game of a board like this. You're gonna have builds where it's 3 long range guns just parking somewhere and looking in a direction. This is exactly why people vouch for a little slightly more dense terrain setups, especially in the middle. This is the opposite of that, where there is practically zero terrain in the middle. But yeah.
All right. So looking back at the Twitch chat, Alec on tabletop is asking, "Is that Gotfret?" Yes, that sure is Gotfret. These are the Blackstone Guard, not the Imperial Guard. So a lot of chaos themed models that Micro has been running. Bernard says that he should rename it to Dark Gotfret.
Yeah. So basically, Manco is acknowledged in his chat with Micro that he has been put in a pretty difficult position. And I mean, what's crazy about this is obviously no disrespect to Micro, but this is almost like a list. Like this list and this matchup with this muster, it kind of plays itself, right? He's going to set up the hotshot volley guns to point in each quadrant. He's going to walk Gotfret up into the middle of the board. He's going to point his flamer at an objective, and then he's just going to roll dice.
Yeah.
And then obviously Ryan's just going to ready and kill something in all likelihood. It's very tough.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, I did choose Astra Militarum as my number 1 for this tournament. Just throwing that out there again. This is the reason why. Every single matchup we've seen, he's put his opponent in a really difficult position turn 1.
That's
Yeah, no, but like what you were saying before, Shane, the list kind of does play itself, and that's in no way a knock against Micromancer. If anything, it's a testament to his ability to, I guess, kind of like read a packet, read a board, look at the secondaries list, and be able to write an adequate list that is able to basically allow you to do things like score 8 points turn 1 and hold your opponent to scoring 1 point.
Yep. Okay, so he is going to move that Mandrake just 8.1 inches away from the flamer. I think that's a decent play. I mean, honestly, it's scary, right? It's you don't want to get charged by Gotfret next turn, so I'm hoping that he does end up moving that veteran kind of farther away. But he looks like he's just going to ready, and this is like a kind of a thing that you fell into in your game with Micro Ryan, where you kind of ended the first round with a lot of Mandrakes in pretty close proximity to Gotfret.
Yeah.
And he's just charged right in, didn't care, and it's pretty rough to play against.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so right now, the only objective that Manco holds is the one that is going to get shot by a flamer in all likelihood.
Yeah. Depending on oh man. Yeah, okay, so we're seeing an outflank from Micro here, and I'm not sure where he's gonna drop this.
Yeah, he's going to put it on that objective.
Okay. I was very scared for Manco that he was just going to drop Rouse on the objective that's essentially inside Manco's deployment zone. Yeah, like right there, Oodsicle, and just completely just deny him the ability to score that. And then
I mean,
all
in a
of
way,
sudden he's got
he
this.
is denying him the way to score that, because
Yeah,
I'm sure that Manco was
the
going to go
math,
there as well.
yeah, the math adds up. It's just a different position. Yeah, I don't think Manco is going to have any choice but to bring in those 3 Mandrakes from reserve inside his own deployment zone, and basically just try to like plink some of Micro's models down, get him to an injury roll, hopefully pick up kill 1. Just kidding, kill 1 is not a thing in this packet. Is it?
No, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
We're only in the semifinals.
We're only in the
Jesus.
semifinals. Yeah. I'm already on to preparing for the next tournament, obviously. So, all right. Manco's dropping in his reserves now. It'll be interesting to see if he goes, if he drops all 3 of them in here or not. If he's thinking about saving them for later on in this game.
So Ryan, so when we do get to shooting, Ryan is going to have a shot, and he's going to be able to shoot first with Ryan into that veteran Mandrake that is readied.
Yeah,
that could be trouble for Manco. I mean, Ryan has the ability to basically look at any Mandrake and potentially kill them.
Yeah.
He's just so efficient in this matchup. Yeah, with Rouse too, getting the reroll on this board, you can outflank Rouse anywhere, and he can basically see everything because there's no terrain on the board. Just another thing.
Yeah. Like there is terrain on the board, but the layout of the terrain, it's so wide open, and the fact that the towers are hollow and they're not like actual like line of sight blocking towers really plays into shooting army's strengths on this board.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Manco is trying to see if he can find any sweet spots. There could honestly be something up on top of that crate that the flamer's near. I'm not sure though. It's
Yeah. I think that might be a soft spot too. Yeah. So if he does drop a model down in there on top of the crate, there's going to be a lot of models that will be able to shoot it, but yeah. Yeah. I think that's the move. I think that's the move here.
I believe he can get a model on that on the edge of within an inch of his board edge and beyond that objective. I believe I've done it before. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely a spot over there. I don't know why they're measuring it with that model.
Yeah,
It would be. I mean, he'd be getting shot at by that heavy hotshot volley gun, and potentially by the demo. So he looks like he is committing to the deep strike. I don't like setting up a guy just over 5 inches away from Gotfret, personally.
Yeah.
I guess the difference here from your situation, Ryan, was his guys that are away from Gotfret are not all in one place, so he can't charge them all with Gotfret. He could only charge one.
Right. Yeah.
Which I suppose isn't the end of the world. At the end of the day, Gotfret is just a 1 damage power sword.
That's right. Yeah, I'm depending on how those other two Mandrake models are set up, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of where Manco's dropping this Mandrake in right now.
It's like Micro's dropping it for him because
yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is a tough matchup. It really is. Not entirely sure what the play is against a team with this much shooting on this map.
Are you already looking forward to it? Are you seeing your future before your eyes right now?
Are you in my ear? Or are you just? I don't.
Oh no, I'm just commenting now. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you seeing your future in front of you now against this micro team?
I will say I've played micro with my Druhkari against his guard on this map once in a prep game, and I did beat him. Granted, he was running Pious at that time. We've both undergone changes to our list since then, but you know, it is an issue where I think this matchup in particular, I don't even think he realized it until like partway through the tournament, but Micro found this answer to Druhkari built into his roster, and it's like a big answer. It's a tough one to play around with the Dark Elves here. So is he just not bringing in the last Mandrake? Is he only bringing in 2?
No, it looks like he is dropping it in now.
So I almost feel like I would have liked to just see if Manco was going to use the Deep Strike to just kind of put everything in the top left, because Gotfret's farther away there.
Oh yeah.
You can focus down Rouse, and then maybe try getting some charges in next turn on that Sergeant, and then just kind of bouncing around from model to model in melee.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it looks like he's setting up the other one at the base of the tower there, down on the bottom right. So those 3 Mandrakes down there, if they survive, they're going to be a very juicy target for Gotfret to charge into and
Yep.
try to clear out that kind of quarter of the board there. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, is that Manco is just dropping in Mandrakes just to drop them in and try to plink wounds off of Gotfret, or he looks like he's measuring ranges to the Flamer over there.
I certainly hope he put it within 9. I mean, Jesus.
I believe he did.
If you're gonna put him 0.1 inches out. Okay, so I think that will end. Yeah, forwards for the Emperor on the demo. That was not a surprise. And now we're going to start with readied models, starting with Micro. And I'm certain we're going to see Ryan shoot at that veteran Mandrake. No. Okay, apparently at the non-veteran Mandrake.
So I still think through the lattice work of that tower, I think Rouse is still able to draw line of sight to that combat specialist Mandrake.
Oh, I don't know. That is.
I'm looking at it right now, and I think. Yeah,
Well, he gets the wounds through, but it's 5 up, and he gets it. That is off to a good start. I really want Manco to get those dice out of that thing because it's driving me crazy. Okay, there he goes. He has done it. That's like a pet peeve of mine, is when someone's rolling their dice just on top of the pile of dice. Just
Oh
drives
yeah,
me
no.
drives me up the
No,
wall.
no. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess now we're gonna go over to the ready Mandrake for
Ryan
after
is scampering over onto
Scarper.
that scarpering. Yeah.
And now 2 shots from the I don't think that the leader Nightfiend who's readied has any shots. If I was Micro, I think I would have tried, or not Micro, Manco. I think I would have tried to get some shots with him. I don't know though. So, all right, 2 shots hitting on 4s, and ugh, that's disgusting. And he has no CP to reroll that. So, yeah, that's truly unfortunate. But I mean, again, it's a low percentage chance anyway. I mean, let's say that hit does go through and he does end up wounding. It's unlikely he's going to kill.
Yeah.
That's not going to change the way that flamer is going to hit him. So now the hotshot volley gun that's readied is looking for a shot, and I don't think that Mandrake over there is obscured. Manco could have moved that guy to be slightly obscured. Well, actually, he might be obscured. Just his foot behind the. Oh, is Micro going to shoot that guy over there? I don't even know if the hotshot volley gun can see him.
He certainly cannot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's
Not sure why they're
measuring
measuring that. Maybe he's worried about a turn 2 charge coming from that model.
Yeah, so I think this is 6 shots, or 4 shots hitting on 6s.
Yeah, target's long range obscured, and a Mandrake
course he
1
gets
does
the
go
6.
through.
He does not wound, though. It's not a demo.
Yeah.
So now it goes to non-readied shooting. And Micro
He's got to
is
start with the demo spec here, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, yeah. I was about to say maybe Rouse.
4 shots now. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Surprise, surprise. We see 3 hits. Actually, I think they were hitting on 4s maybe, but he got it anyway. 2 wounds now. So this is 2 5-up invulns for Manco, which he will not make. Nope. First one does D3 damage. So let's see what the damage is. 2 damage. He's not going to make boxcars here.
And
but
this
let's
is
see.
With the demo charge?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's the whole point of this kind of move here from Micro. He does it literally every single game. It is expected at this point. That's a dead Mandrake to start the game off.
Yeah, and that's going to pick up high-profile targets for Micro.
He rolled the injury roll, got a 5 and a 3 on the 2 damage injury roll. I mean, that's the thing too about reserves. I'm not sure what Manco could have done to stop that from happening.
Yeah, one of his models was going to get nuked.
Yeah, I mean, it's just totally unavoidable. So looking around now, Rouse wants to see if he can Scarper, and he can because of that grapnel hook up onto the tower. Because he needs a grapnel hook.
Yeah.
He needs that item. I actually that could be a mega misplay there. I don't know why he moved that model off of the objective. He's now totally forced to try and kill that veteran on the objective because now he can't get hold more unless he kills one of the mandrakes that are over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a blunder there in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
if I'm Manco, If I'm Manco, I'm very happy that he just did that move.
Yeah, just completely giving up that objective there. I mean, Manco is down to 0 CP. I mean, maybe he was worried about Rouse getting charged by a Mandrake turn 2. But it's like, do you really care? Because I mean, Rouse has done his job. He's come in, he's killed a model with his demo charge. He could have scarpered on over to that bounty token and picked it up. I have no idea why he's done this.
There was a plethora of moves for Micro there, and that was one of the worst ones I think he could have done.
Yeah. Someone note that down. We'll definitely have to ask him about that in the post.
So that's a hit. I don't know who onto, but it's a wound as well. I think it might be onto the demo, or rather the heavy hotshot volley gun, which Micro does not save with. So we're going to see an injury roll. I'm just not sure if he wants to. Okay, so he's going to pop Fight for Your Life, the 1 CP tactic for Astra Militarum, to add a -1 to that injury roll. Ended up not mattering. He rolled a 2. I don't know who that was on. I'm thinking maybe the Flamer? Yeah, it looks like it was onto the Flamer. Oh, of course, he gets 6 shots. And of course, every one of them wounds.
So he's gonna make 5 ups here.
He actually made 4.
He rolled.
Yeah, he's got to make 2 6-ups now. Does not. So that's an injury roll. He doesn't get it. It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
There's no reroll here.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal for Manco there, not having to worry about the another out of action.
Ooh boy. Here we go with the demo spec.
Well, he's going to shoot the demo spec. Manco gets to shoot next.
Oh.
When he gets 2 hits. 2 hits onto that demo spec.
All right.
1 wound at AP1, so this is going to be a 5-up armor save, I believe. Doesn't get it, and it's a 5-up to kill now, which is the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
And he gets another flesh wound. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean that Scion Gunner, he'll be hitting at a 4-up ballistic skill now for the rest of the game, but he's still going to be shooting 4 shots.
Yeah, I mean it'll be the difference between him hitting on 6s or 5s now, which I guess is
true
is nice.
Yeah.
So now one of the volley guns, I believe, is going into that Mandrake that hasn't shot yet. He seemingly always gets a 6 on one of those 4 shots. It doesn't wound, though. Surprising. So Manco is weighing his shots now. A lot of options here still.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm him, I'm really looking to try and get rid of one of these hotshot volley guns.
Yeah, because those are the biggest threat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Is he looking to shoot the demo up there? Doesn't look like line of sight, so...
Yeah. So I think the only two models that Mandrake down there can shoot are the... Yeah, I think he'll be putting those shots into the flamer there.
So here's a thought.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you want to kill that flamer, because next turn, that is an easy 8.1 inch charge to get yourself into a corner far away from Gotfret and not getting shot at.
Yeah, and have the potential to pick up Cut Apart and Bounty Hunters. And he just killed it. He just killed it. Yeah, that's crazy, Shane. I never would have thought of that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I would have left that model alive. It's already shot. It's done its job. You can dogpile onto it next turn. Because if you're in combat, you're not getting shot by hotshot volley guns. So
yeah. Yeah, that's super big brain. I never would have thought to do that. I think you're right, but I would have much rather put those shots into either the hotshot volley gun that's standing like right in front of that container there. The heavy specialist, if that's even possible.
I was going to say the one flesh wound is a bit inconsequential because he's obscured, so he was a 4 to take him out anyway. It would have been a 4 to take out just about anybody, I guess.
Right.
Although he was hitting on 4s there, whereas he would have been hitting on 5s elsewhere.
Yeah. Or even like the Guardsman, who just did like a normal move, because he is obscured, but he's not within an inch of any obscuring terrain, so higher likelihood of taking the model out of action. I don't know. It's kind of like it's minor differences in the targets there, but yeah, Shane's point was huge. That would have been a huge pickup if he was able to get off a turn 2 charge on that model and kill it.
Okay, he just rolled 5 dice. Did he? No, that's not correct. Don't believe that's not even a heavy, so it's not like he had the tag. He could have used the. Of course, still gets the fucking 6 every single time he shoots that hotshot volley gun. Every time he gets it, but I guess he hasn't. Oh no, he has wounded because that's the demo. Oh my lord! Without fail, he always gets a hit. The modifiers don't even matter. It is 4 shots, but yeah.
Yeah. They are kind of like, they're just like accurate Tau drones in that same sort of sense. They have 4 shots. In this instance, they're wounding on 3s because of the toughness 3 of the Mandrake.
He doesn't get the out of action. He needed a 5. That is pretty big for Manco because it ensures that Micro isn't going to get hold more. Although Micro could have very easily gotten hold more, if not for a caveman move. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is.
A caveman move from Micro. I've never seen him make a caveman move.
Yeah, we all make caveman moves. You haven't watched enough of a player if you've never seen him make a caveman.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I've been on the receiving end of Micro more than I have watched him make caveman moves. Whenever he's played against me, I've never felt that way.
I retired from the game so that I couldn't make caveman moves, and I still made caveman moves as the streamer, so...
Yeah, see? Retired. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, sometimes you make caveman moves on commentary, though. It is a thing. Earlier, I mean, in this, Ryan, you said with confidence, "Good thing there's not kill one." On this packet, so there are occasional cavemans even on the commentary table. It looks like a wound has gone through. I don't know on to who. Micro doesn't make the armor save, though. I believe it's onto that hotshot volley gun. Needs a 4 to take him out. That is big. Such a big play right there to take out that hotshot volley gun. Because that is a part of the board now that's freed up for him. He can.
Wow.
That's so many shots that he doesn't have to worry about anymore.
Yes.
And now there's 2 dead for Micro, which would matter if Ryan can, or not Ryan, Jesus, if Manco can manage to get another flesh wound down on one of these boys here.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to ask to bring this up. I was just kind of like waiting for another Imperial Guard model to go down. So at 100 points, is morale that big of an issue for the Blackstone Guard? Just because they have models like Gotfret in their list, does morale play that much of an issue at 100 points for them, or is it kind of inconsequential?
Ooh, that was wow.
Yeah,
I would say that it is. It does play a part, but it's not about breaking so much as it's about targeting. Oh Jesus, this lasgun is really going to get a kill right now. Needs a 5 to take him out. Okay, a flesh wound again. These are really piling up for Manco.
Yeah.
I was going to say, putting flesh wounds onto Guardsmen and then forcing them to take nerve tests is where the morale issue can come from, not so much breaking. Because as you're saying, Gotfret with the infinite leadership, it's actually just leadership 8, but that's quite a bit for a team with this many bodies.
Yeah.
Looks like so 2 shots are going to be hitting on 4s on that Guardsman up there.
Ooh, okay.
Gets one of them. Wounds on a 3. We haven't seen Immortal yet. I think he's due for Immortal.
Yeah, he is due for Immortal.
Let's see it. Oh, almost.
Nope. Oh, so close.
Needs a 6 to save this. He doesn't save it, and this guy's out in a 4-up. Ooh, just a flesh win. But again, I mean, this is what we're talking about. There's 2 out right now for Micro. That Guardsman is going to be at leadership. He's normally at 6. He'll go down to 4, back up to 5. So he could fail a nerve test on a 6.
Yeah.
Granted, it's like the least important model ever, but
yeah.
Pistol shot goes nowhere.
Interesting to note the 2 flesh wounded model down there on that objective of Manco.
Veteran.
It's a veteran specialist, so those flesh wounds are not really going to come into play during the morale phase, which is great for Manco, because these could be piling up for him very soon.
That Guardsman does not shake. I think that was the morale check right there for him. We are going to have to see. Actually, none of Micro's models can shake right now. There's only 1 dead, and then their leadership 7 at the lowest. So nothing can happen here. And then, of course, the veteran isn't shaking. So
yeah.
I mean, all in all, not a terrible turn for Manco, but I'm worried about Gotfret, right?
Yeah.
That's
Gotfret's very close to, I guess, 4 different Mandrakes. That kind of group of 3 in that quarter of the board down by the objective. Those are susceptible to being charged by Gotfret here. Going to be determined how initiative works out for turn 2. Let's say Micro loses initiative coming up here. Do you expect him to decisive move with Gotfret?
I would expect him to do that. Yeah. He wants to lock down those 2 Mandrake, or at least 2 of those 3 Mandrakes down there in the bottom. It's too juicy of a target for him not to.
Right.
And the charge is just good for him. So I would expect him to try to do that.
All right, so they've gone through and done their scoring. Micro is leading 4-2.
And not a terrible lead here. It looks like Micro won initiative though, pretty big.
Yeah. So now, do you think Manco is going to decisive strike here and try to kind of charge one of those Mandrakes into Gotfret? Because
No.
it's almost like a catch-20. It's almost like a
wouldn't.
catch-22, right? Because if you do that, you're going to free up a bunch of your models and kind of just like free them from being caught and tackled to the ground and beaten to death by a raging Minotaur. But you're going to be stuck in combat with Gotfret on the center objective, and Micro will still be scoring that domination point. So it's kind of like, what do you do here? See Manco measuring out between his Mandrakes and Gotfret.
You could hypothetically do a decisive move with Manco with, say, like the veteran Mandrake and just charge everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe hope that you get onto one of these guys.
Yeah.
Or one of these guys, maybe.
Yeah. He is going to be re-rolling this turn. Because he's Druhkari. They just can do that.
Yeah.
Still pretty long charges, so even with the reroll, it's kind of risky, but worst case scenario, you're probably going to get stuck in combat with Gotfret.
That's actually exactly a 10-inch charge. No. What? No, it's actually... it's a 10-inch...
It's 8.5.
It's a 9-inch.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a decisive here from Manco. This is a pretty big moment. Uh-oh. Is he going to do it?
Decisive move time.
All right. I don't know what the play is. There's a lot of options here.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Micro wants to move Gotfret. Oh, geez.
Oh, jeez.
That's pretty rough, yeah.
All right. So Manco's rolled 3. Micro rolled more, so Micro's going to, this
is what we were talking about. This is a very obvious move for Micro. I mean, he's getting so much return on investment if he charges those Mandrakes with Gotfret.
Yeah. This is definitely reminding me of my game against Micro and how that turned out.
No way. He can't get on all 3.
I don't think he won't be able to get in on all 3. That's for sure.
Oh my God, he can.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he can. I don't know, man.
Even the
that Minotaur base is looking kind of big. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yes, I believe Gotfret is.
This is just kind of a beefy Minotaur base, even for a 32, I think.
Yeah, because Mandrakes are on 25s, correct? Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at Ryan, who's on a 25, and Gotfret, who's on a 32 right now, and it checks out.
Yeah, you got to fall that Mandrake back, because if he goes back there, nothing can really threaten him outside of like a hotshot volley gun moving right dead into the middle. And you want to keep that veteran alive because high-profile targets has been revealed.
Yeah.
Beyond that, though, I mean, yeah. It's like just going to be some Overwatch, maybe. Gets one hit, but it's not ultimately not going to matter unless we see a 6 here. Doesn't see a 6. It's a 3-up save. She does fail, but
get it.
Yeah.
So Gotfret will go down to 2 wounds remaining. And there's another successful Overwatch shot.
Can he get
Where's
the
that
wound
mortal?
now?
He's due for it. No.
Doesn't get the mortal. It's another 3-up armor save, which he does make.
Yeah.
He doesn't get... Wait, does that get him? No, I don't think it does. He has to re-roll that. That is huge.
That is gigantic.
Come on, Snake Eyes. Let's make this a game. Oh, he gets the 6. So I think he gets onto... Does that get him to both? No, it just gets him to 1. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, that is great for Manco.
And now Micro needs to go first. So if he wants to get that that domination, he's gonna have to move guys in the middle and open up himself for charges from the other Mandrakes onto squishier, easier to kill models. I don't know why they just pinged that guy, but he's nowhere near that combat. Yeah. And you know, with Micro, he has a lot of attacks, but they're all 1 damage. And having no CP already before, like, even past the decisive phase of the movement phase, that could be a big deal. Yeah. Manco's still got to do that decisive on his own part. I don't know what the play is now. Is he maybe considering charging Rouse? I think a better option would be that Sergeant over there, but even then, you could see a fixed bayonets with 3 attacks. He'd be hitting on 5s, wounding on 3s because of Katachan.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like he's going just for Rouse.
He's got to measure this. Come on.
Yeah.
It's that's looking like 7.4. So 1, 7 there. So that's 9.5. So 9.5 gets him up, which means a 10.
So he needs a 10 to get in on Rouse?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's also going to want to try to simultaneously pick up that bounty token too, so that might add some complications. But from the angle he's charging, I'm not sure if it'll factor that much. Yeah, that's a safer bet to get the point. Rouse is not a close combat threat. All he has is that strength 4 pistol, so might be worth it just to get up there and get the point.
Yeah, you open yourself up to getting charged.
Yeah, by the Sergeant with the chainsword, and then if you don't get stuck in with Rouse will just go right back down the tower that he came up and go on over and get on that objective or pick up that bounty token.
Don't tell me. Yeah, I mean, at this point, this is kind of a situation where you don't even... If you could just pass and just hold off the move, even having spent it, like, I think I would. I'd at this point, I'd rather just let Micro do all his moves and then move. But I don't think you can do that. I think you have to make 1 move and activate 1 model.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think so. I think this might also be a situation where Manco is kind of it's kind of just like Well, I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far after Gotfret pretty much got like the worst outcome he could have hoped for on his charge, you know.
Well, not the worst. He could have totally whiffed.
No, it could have been a complete failure, but I mean,
Yeah, I don't want to charge that chainsword if I'm Manco. I mean, putting
Yeah.
fixed bayonets into
Exactly.
consideration, that's 6 attacks you're going to eat from that guy, hitting on 5s, winning on 4 or 3s. So
Yeah.
might as well be Gotfret against a Mandrake.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually feel like readying the leader might be the best play. Yeah, I don't like the advance play. I hope he doesn't do that, because it just opens himself up to quite a bit
Getting
of
charged, getting shot, giving up that top left objective, giving up that top left bounty token. At least if he readies up his leader, then Micro is forced to act, and he can respond accordingly to it.
Yeah.
I think the smart play here is to ready the leader, or just move the leader onto the objective that he has in his deployment zone, and then bump that flesh wounded Mandrake somewhere else.
Ugh, I don't like that play.
All right, so he's advancing.
Yeah, he does
It's a
get
big old advance. He will get all the way up there and pick up that bounty token, no doubt.
Oh, geez, at least make it a little harder for the sergeant to get you. I mean, I think the sergeant needs like a 5 or 6, really. It's
Yeah.
even 2 inches away, like horizontally. Yeah, it's probably like a 6.
Yeah.
And I think Micro might just instantly do
Yeah.
that charge.
I saw his mouse hovering over the sergeant. Yep, here it comes. Looking like a 6 he'll need. All right.
Okay, yeah, I guess they're saying it's a 6, and there's no reroll, so he could just whiff, and that would be pretty treacherous for Micro.
Yeah.
Oh,
he completely
whiffs.
whiffs. Wow. Shane, you
Man.
spoke it into existence, man. Holy crap.
I guess so. It's weird because I feel like Micro isn't somebody that I often see get like diced. Not that he's getting diced.
We've talked about this before. He very rarely, if ever, has had bad dice in terms of games.
Yeah, he doesn't get that short straw too often.
No.
So it looks like the alternate play is to just ready up Rouse, who is not going to kill. Jesus, just get Rouse onto the objective.
Just do it already. I mean,
I guess he could just put him there anyway.
So the pistol, it's gonna be hitting on a 3 against that.
And then he gets to
against the
Scarper and he's
Mandrake.
shooting first.
He gets to Scarper, and also the pistol is strength 4, so wounding on a 3, like, I don't really blame him for readying up Rouse here, because he'll be able to get the shot off, potentially kill him, fall back onto the point there, you know. Or maybe when all is said and done, he might be able to. I think it might be a little long for him to scarper down and around the Mandrake and get on the middle objective, pick up domination. I think he's better off just going for that objective closer to the board edge, right by the bounty.
Yes.
Figure by the end of this turn, he'll have Rouse on that, and then going into turn 3, Rouse will be able to pick up the bounty token over there. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that charge
board.
That charge wasn't too. I guess if they're going for a 6 and you don't have a reroll, it's like a 40% chance you're going to fail. Maybe a little bit better than that, the odds, but I don't know. It's always something that can happen without a reroll. Yeah. This is why I love rerolling charges on models. It's such a feels bad, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting to see what could happen here with Ryan. First of all, Ryan moved, so he's going to take a -1 from that because that sniper is a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
And another -1 because of a Mandrake. Actually weird to think about because Ryan, yes, he does reroll all failed hits if Rouse can see the target. But since he has ballistic skill 2, and he's a sniper spec, it really doesn't matter because rerolls happen after, or I guess before modifiers.
Yeah, so, that's really crazy to think about.
His only fail is a 1 anyway, which he's a sniper. So.
Yeah. The more and more I think about Ryan and Rouse, like when I first looked at them and looked at their sheets, I'm like, okay, I get it. They've got like high mobility, but like their weapons seemed comparatively weak to me because you only get the 1 demo charge, and then you have basically like a sniper rifle. But like the more and more I see these models used, it's just ridiculous what they can do for a combined 18 points.
Yeah, I mean the sniper is so good against T3 so it's so reliable.
Yeah, ignoring the long range penalty just because it's a sniper rifle. I think it's on a wound roll of 6. It inflicts a mortal wound in addition to its normal damage. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just a basic sniper rifle essentially.
Yeah.
No.
Ryan does not. All right, so it looks like that heavy specialist of micros is going to walk on over to the tournament table and sit down and wait for somebody to play kill team with him, I guess. I don't know.
That model is ripe for the charging. I know that it's a hotshot volley gun with 4 shots, and micro is incapable of not rolling a 6 when he shoots at that weapon, but I think I want to charge that. If I'm Manco right now, I think I want to throw 2 guys at that model.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, moving that combat down onto that bounty token is a pretty good play. It hides a specialist for now, and it sets him up for a turn 3 charge into the deployment zone onto the objective.
So that Guardsman.
Oh, he just undid the whole move. Okay.
Yeah, so that Guardsman that flesh wounded Guardsman. He's kind of just being like a shield essentially for the hotshot volley gunner.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is the possibility here. Well, I guess no, because Ryan is going to be able to shoot that Mandrake, I think. up on top of the tower, maybe. Probably they'll probably say yes, but I don't know. I can't find a. Maybe from the tip of the sword.
He is rather short.
Yeah, I think maybe from the tip of the Mandrake sword, you could probably.
He'll definitely be able to see him. He can see him through lattice work, like his whole sword arm.
Anyway, if it wasn't for that, you could actually not give Rouse a shot or Ryan a shot potentially. And then Ryan can't Scarper. Could be good maybe to just do a little bit of hiding right now. Pick up hold more. Pick up some bounty tokens. So Manco's got to make his moves now. Definitely the range advantage is well within Micro's favor. It's worth noting that there's a spot I'm going to hover my mouse over it a little bit, like here, where if Micro or Manco is able to get a model onto that objective, he could potentially hide it from the hotshot volley gun that's readied up. You're really hoping if you're Manco that Mandrake survives against Gotfret. That is a huge moment.
Yeah.
Like I almost wonder if you pop Swift and Deadly Reflexes.
Ooh, yeah. Doesn't that make him an additional -1 to hit or something?
Yeah, so Gotfret will be hitting on 5s. It's still 5 attacks though. It's kind of tough to.
Yeah, with the risk of exploding 6s and Micro, he hits his 6s. But he has not been rolling that hot tonight, at least with the charges.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been some. I would say the dice have been pretty average on both sides.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, don't you dare charge that Gotfret.
What is happening? Oh, okay. I was just thinking about that clip of Michael Scott from The Office where he's screaming, "No, God, no, please. God, no, God, no." Just screaming. After he pinged Gotfret. Don't you charge him. Don't do it.
Oh, right. Yes, that is.
Yeah.
I don't think I want that that Mandrake there if I'm Manco.
Yeah, moving him closer to a readied up hotshot volley gun. And Rhine. I mean, Rhine, it doesn't matter. Rhine will be able to plug him anyway, but... yeah.
Looks like he's going to do it. Oh, man, that's ballsy. Especially with the flesh-wounded Mandrake there.
Yeah.
Looks like it's just going to be the leader shifting up there.
Like, would you have rather seen that model advance up onto the objective, kind of towards the closer edge that Oodsicle is circling right now?
Yeah, that's what I would like to see. Try and hold more this round.
Yeah. Because now it's like, okay, that Mandrake, it has a flesh wound. It looks like all of his targets are outside of 9 inches. So it's like, if you're micro, you don't even really have to kill that model in order to do anything, right? Like, you can just eat the shots and not even care. You can focus on other things. The hotshot volley gun, yeah, that's right.
Some considerations are being made, I'm sure. He's now looking at this guy underneath the tower.
Yeah, I forgot about him. There are a lot of Mandrakes on this side of the board.
He might be considering a charge onto on a Rhine.
Ooh, I would like that. It's only 9 inches. So 9 inches.
No.
It's
more than that. It's more than that. It's like 10.
Oh, we need to like move around the banners.
Yeah, that's okay. The movement after he moves around the banner right there.
Okay.
And that is a model that I don't think Rouse can see, which would mean no hit rerolls for the Overwatch.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate to break it, but yeah, he can see him through the lattice work. These friggin' towers, man, they're not cover.
Really?
They're not cover. It's just staticky oxygen. It's just staticky space. It just makes it harder playing on this board. Honestly.
God, yeah, what an awful. All right. All right. So he's measuring another charge now. I think I would just play it safe, not charge. Oh God.
Oh no.
He's considering.
You gotta measure around.
It's like an 11-inch charge. Just move on to the bounty here. That's what I do here. Move on to that bounty. Set up a charge for next turn.
Up. Yeah.
Keep your specialist safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go for that charge, because that's a charge where if you fail it, you're out in the open. Totally.
Yep.
Where if I'm going to charge with anybody, it's going to be this Mandrake over here. Oh, it looks like that's what he's doing. Because at least if he fails that charge, he's sitting in cover.
Right.
There's basically nowhere that guy's going to be able to move to avoid getting shot at.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You're in a position where you're able to react to everything that your opponent has already done. So what do you not want to do? And that's put your models in positions where your opponent's still going to be able to essentially reliably get effective shots on target.
He's advancing with that Mandrake down there, and he gets a 14. Not that he needs that, but he's going to get onto that bounty over there. You might as well put yourself as close as possible to that guy. Right. I mean, I'm not sure why he isn't doing that without like being seen. There we go. There we
There
go.
it is. There it is.
Yeah, I see Micro measuring that. Looks like he can kind of see the pant leg of the Mandrake there. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything? Okay, so there's that Mandrake in the middle left. Do
Yep.
you go for the charge at this stage? I think I do.
Like, is there a viable alternative?
I mean, you could ready and just get a firefight, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to do that. Because he's
Yeah, I think
outside 9. All right, so it looks like he's going to go for the charge here.
so. He needs a 10, but he's re-rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, it's kind of a punt, but it could be a game-winning move. So
Yeah.
that could get him recon sweep. It can get him bounty hunter. It can get him cut apart if he gets this. This is definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, the upside is huge. And sometimes you win the game by punting. You know who said that? Bill Belichick.
Okay.
I don't think he actually said that. If Manco charges,
so he is considering
I don't think there's a reason for him to declare the heavy. And the reason for that is, if he's able to get stuck in, he'll be able to pile in and then probably consolidate in. What is happening? Why is that model even moving?
Oh. But why?
Oh, geez.
Well, I guess it gets him closer for a charge next turn, but now he's shooting second. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. And then who's waiting in the wings of that tower? Depending on how that combat goes, Gotfret may be freed up. In all likelihood, he'll probably charge onto the objective closer to him because that's the priority, but
So I think that's all of the moves for Manco. So I think we're just looking at a
yeah.
Yeah, how ridiculous is it that is something that he can do?
That's just a thing. That's wow.
That's not yeah, it's quite a bit more than 8. Cut some corners there too. Yeah. Jesus.
Just slow down there, partner. What's the base movement? He's got 8-inch movement. Yeah.
Okay, he's figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that was a thing.
So now, weirdly enough, this Mandrake with the flush in the middle has an unobscured shot onto that sergeant. So maybe worth pointing out. I don't know. But there's a lot of readied shots, so Yeah, it's just on a board like this, it's so hard to set up charges out of line of sight. It's a very difficult thing to do. I mean, he's got one set up right now, a single one. Rouse is going to be hitting on a 3. No rerolls or anything. That is a hit.
Spikes
wounds on a 3. He does get the wound, so we're looking at 5 up, 6 up. Doesn't get it.
4.
Gonna go for the 6 up. Doesn't get that either.
Injury roll.
And he gets the injury roll. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that move at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rouse is going to pick up
was...
a bounty.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So Shane, do you think that Blackstone Guard are a hard counter to Druhkari overall as a faction on this tournament packet? Because I'm looking at these models.
I think they do counter Druhkari pretty well, but I think they just beat almost everything.
Yeah.
It's really, really ridiculous. Gotfret, his obnoxiousness really shines at 100 points, I think. That model is just, it's pretty ridiculous for 20 points.
Yeah. Very undercosted.
Ryan and Rouse just do so much. Orders are insane. He does get a hit. That hot shot
volley gun.
The other
thing too is, I think,
wounds. Needs a 5 up to save. Does not get it.
4, looking for a 6.
Gets the 5 there. Should have rerolled it.
Yeah, he does have the CP remaining.
And I mean, it's too late now. That's flush wound.
All right.
Now, the next hotshot volley gun shooting in.
"12.1 inches? Is that a correct measurement?"
Oh, wow.
So that'll be long range, obscured. Still 4 shots.
Of course, always, every time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a wound. Looking for the 5 here.
Doesn't get it.
No.
I mean, I'm at the stage where
Oh,
Jesus. Okay, yeah, we're not it's just a flush wound again.
That's fair. That's fair.
Why did you do
now
that?
The flesh wounds are piling up.
Oh god, Manco clicked on his model for no reason and made him go up on the tower. Oof. Okay. But yeah, flash wounds really piling up here. The firefight is just not going to be a thing. it's just not. I'm curious. I feel like, yeah, I don't know what Manco wants to use that last CP for.
I mean, if I'm him, I'm seriously thinking about using it for in the morale phase to make one of my flesh wounded models auto pass, right?
I wouldn't say we're there yet. He's only got 2 dead, so he's only failing on a 6. But if another model dies, that is a situation. And if he breaks, I think the game's over anyway. So
yeah. So Matt Hurl's in the chat, and he's saying, "Are Are the Dark Eldar players complaining about undercosted units?
Well, Matt, two things can be true. That's the that's all I'll say about that.
That is the correct answer.
And
we were talking about this a little bit on a podcast episode, I think, a couple weeks ago about how the vitriol for Dark Eldar has been so great that it feels like that same energy has kind of just missed Imperial Guard and the stuff that they can pull off.
Oh, it absolutely has. Blackstone Guard is just as bad, if not worse, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the record shows, right?
I mean, it really isn't Blackstone Guard being just better in like a vacuum. It really is this board.
Yeah.
For sure. It is quite shocking. The cover on there, I guess lack thereof, cover on this board.
Right.
So he's measuring over to the guys that have already shot. I kind of want to shoot either at the sergeant on the objective or Ryan, which I think he's shooting at Ryan. Oh, Micro has initiative. So, yeah. I guess he's just going to shoot at the Nightfiend over there. He's going to be hitting on like 4s or something. Moved, actually 5s. Moved, obscured, and Mandrake.
Yeah, he gets it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. So that is a wound. Yeah. I think he just made the save with the 6.
Oh, there you go. Once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while the Mandrakes pay off.
Well, they always pay off, but once in a while the save comes off.
Yeah, they're armor saves, I should say.
poor phrasing. Yeah, neither player has had a mortal wound. Oh, so he's just not going to go for domination. Interesting. Well,
I mean, that's predicated on him winning initiative and Manco deciding not to decisive move, right?
well, no, we're talking about the pile and the consolidate if he kills that Mandrake down there. But I don't even know if the consolidate could get him into domination range.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's why I'm thinking ahead to turn 3. Now they're drawing line of sight from the Mandrake with 2 flesh wounds to Rhine.
This has been a long game.
It has,
really...
yeah. This is this is like shooting
phase round 2.
It's
They're really
shooting
deliberating over every single choice that they have to make. I mean,
yeah.
This is the semifinals here.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah, we're coming up on almost 2 hours in. The thing with Kill Team games, I think, is that the bulk of the game is played during turn 1, less so in turn 2, and then it speeds up as the game goes on. Less models are on the table. More people's victory conditions are met.
So now the Mandrakes get to shoot back. I'm not sure if that Mandrake even has a shot. I don't. Yeah, no, they're just going to flip that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think if I'm Manco, I'm trying to kill that sergeant up there, or
with the
with one of the Mandrakes, because that's hold more.
right.
And if I can't kill the sergeant, then I'm looking to fire invade into the middle.
Right. How would you feel about killing the sergeant and then fire invading into the middle?
Well, you don't need to do both. You just need one. If you can kill the sergeant, you don't have to. But
I see. Right.
Because you're getting hold more at that point anyway, barring any
correct.
breaks. What are they? Yeah. Looks like the sergeant is not even on his radar. So which one is he shooting at right here? Is this the... Okay. Gets a hit, wounds on a 3. He does get a wound through, so this guy's going to be saving on a 6-up only. Course.
Bruh.
Now the next guy, he can shoot hitting on 4s yet again onto the same guardsman. From all the way downtown. This is hitting on 4s just for long range. That's it.
Boxcars on the hit roll.
It's a wound.
1 wound. So
Another
another
6
6
up.
needed.
Of course he gets
Bruh.
it. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Now the next Mandrake. This guy has 2 flesh wounds though, so I'm not expecting anything big from him. I suppose he'd actually still be hitting on 5s if he went after that guardsman right there. Which isn't terrible. Yeah, he's just going to go for the guardsman. I think this is actually a pretty important kill here.
Yeah.
This is your only chance to kill one now. Yeah, not happening. So he's not going to get kill one unless maybe he could reroll. Looks like he is going to reroll.
Oh, okay.
But now that he's re-rolling, he can't get... Oh no, he's fire and fading. Yeah, okay. I think that's a good move.
Yeah.
Higher. Don't have to worry about dice.
Yes.
It's just shocking that he just made 2 6-up armor saves. Yeah. I think that's the right move, though, to fire and fade there. Now there's a little bit of danger with the fight phase. If Gotfret gets that kill, he can pile in onto that, or he can consolidate onto that objective there. Because now that the veteran Mandrake down there is the closest. So fight phase, Gotfret is putting 5 attacks, hitting on 4s into the Mandrake. Only 1 hit, well, 2 hits technically because of
Yep.
the 6, but no. Why are they okay? Why did he? 1 wound. So this is perfectly doable scenario here. 5-up save. He doesn't get it. 6-up feel no pain though. Doesn't get that either. 1 damage, needing a 4. Yeah. That, I mean, I don't know. It's this looks like a really bad situation here for
Manco here, yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, now he's not getting hold more. He didn't get kill 1, so he's just gonna get hold 1. He's not getting any secondaries this round. Other than the 2 bounties that he already picked up. But yeah, no, we're gonna see hold 1, kill 1 from Micro. I guess Micro isn't going to get domination this round. He didn't pick up that bounty. But Gotfret being free now, super rough spot. And we are going to be seeing a break test from Manco here. Yeah, doesn't fail. That is a failed break test from Manco. So I mean I think that's game. The points aren't showing it. It's not going to reflect in the points, but I think that's how this one's going to end. I don't, not that he'll actually call it, but he's going to be at a -1 to hit with everybody now. Yeah, the board state is straight up atrocious, I would say.
Technically, he won't be -1 to hit with everyone, because going into turn 3, Drukhari do get the +1 to hit. But I mean,
I suppose.
but like 2 of his models do have 2 flesh wounds anyway on them, so they're a lot more ineffective.
Yeah, so he's going to start with the Nightfiend, who I believe fails on a 6. He passes.
Auto passes on a 1.
Rest of these guys are going to fail in 5s though, because their leadership's 7. And there's 3 out. So
Right.
this could be like an avalanche here if he fails 1, especially if it's like this one. It passes.
All right, that one passed. That is the veteran that he's rolling for? Right.
Oh,
another auto pass on the combat specialist. So far, so good. That's not good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the score is actually quite close, but I don't think it actually is this
No,
close
it does
on
not,
the board.
Yeah, score does not reflect the board state here.
Micro wins initiative. I believe Micro has won initiative every round. Granted,
Yes.
the first round you don't want to, but didn't really matter. And decisive move from Manco. Huh. Okay, Micro won't contest. Looks like it might be this Mandrake right in the middle here.
Hmm.
The 2 flesh wounds. So he's -3. Well, -2 because of the
Yeah.
the power from pain, but geez.
All right. Let's see who he's going to charge into. Oh, true, true. So it looks like Manco's thinking about charging Rhine with that Mandrake there on the center objective, trying to get him stuck in combat, get that 3-point swing of recon, sweep, cut apart, and bounty hunters. It's unlikely, just because of the fact that he has 2 flesh wounds on him, so he's essentially -1 to hit.
-2.
-2 to hit because his team is broken. How would you feel about him charging the heavy shot, hot shot volley gunner
The
on the
heavy
objective
hotshot volley gun?
there?
Yeah,
No, the other one who's on the objective,
okay.
because that gets you the same thing. But if he kills that model, then Ryan is just going to wind up like scarpering onto it after shooting something anyway. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, I think
So
here's the thing: you have a better option if you're going to charge that guy. You can do it with the guy in the bottom right.
yes, yeah, that's true.
And I think he's
Looks
thinking
like he's
about that
measuring it out
actually.
now. Yeah.
It's like 8.
So looks like 8. Yeah, that's a very doable charge for a rerolling Mandrake.
It is. I think we see that guy fall back if he gets charged there, though. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Suddenly, that 8 becomes 9 or 10, and is he not going to decisive move after all? He's given himself back the point. Okay, he's not going to decisive. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, if Gotfret gets onto that combat, I mean, this is Gotfret locking up the 2 specialists, the models that Micro needs to kill. Oh wow, I guess he'll only get onto the 1, but this is a veteran spec.
Yeah.
With 2 flesh wounds. Yeah, our producer in our ear has reminded us, not reminded us, but pointed out to us that the Minotaur change is really hampering the speed of these charges.
But I mean, that's what happens when you see a guy, gain upwards of 500 pounds in the off season. They're not going to be moving as fast as they once were the season prior.
It's the old Kelvin Benjamin.
The emotional
NFL fans are laughing out there in the chat somewhere. Yes, so that's a bounty for that sergeant that should have been the target of several Mandrake shots last turn, but ultimately was not. Yeah. Well,
Elk Knuckle in the chat says Gotfret.
I was going to say Gotfret earlier. I totally forgot to, though. Real missed opportunity for Gotfret.
Yeah. If you guys have any more Gotfret related puns, head over to the Discord and throw them in the mailbag.
Don't throw them in the mailbag, please.
I would love to read through those.
Don't put them in the mailbag. He's measuring diagonal. He's going to have to fix that. Yeah, okay, there we go.
I'm not.
All right, put him down. Because all they were trying to do is just to get him on the... Well, he's trying to keep him within 4.5, which is the short range for the weird stub pistol.
Ah, okay.
It's 9 inches for some reason. Yeah, I guess... I guess on the topic of Ibericon, we were mentioning it earlier. I'm playing in a Spanish tourney right now with the Ibericon packet, but it's on the deployments of BAO, a map and like the arena boards and deployments of BAO. And I've only gotten to practice on it, I think once, maybe twice, but I really enjoy it. I always did like I've liked this packet the whole time. My issues really have been with the map that we're playing on.
Yeah.
I think Pennsylvania might finish counting their ballots before this game is done.
That could be true, actually. That could be true, actually. I have been looking back at CNN.
Do not get me started, you guys. All right.
A few times.
Hey, well, they're supposed to be done by Friday. So, I mean, this game is on pace.
All right, so I'm jumping back in here. Is there anything, both of you guys played Drukhari in this. Is there anything, like, what are you looking at here? You have, this is only turn 3, right? Like, if these guys survive, if anything goes, he's Cut Apart and Bounty are definitely scoreable. although a lot of his charges have been taken away from him. Now, this hotshot volley moved away back here on the objective. Everything else is kind of far. I mean, I guess he still has that 2 flesh-wounded Mandrake in the center, but that's probably the least scary of all his models. Would you potentially even charge your Nightfiend in over here onto this chainsword guy? Like, are you just trying to score those, or do you need to stay on that objective back there? Like, do you get your leader involved? What are you guys thinking?
I think the only way he can win is with the triple whammy times. Well, I guess he can only pick up one more bounty, but he's got to get that triple whammy of bounty, recon sweep, and cut apart. And he's got to get cut apart twice, and he's got to get recon sweep twice. There is the possibility that he can get on that objective over on the right where that hotshot volley gun non-spec is. Hold an objective, get a kill, get cut apart, get a bounty, stand in the deployment zone. That's like the golden spot for him, right? Outside of that, it's a bit tough. I mean, I think other than that, he needs to sit on his objectives and play it relatively safe. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, makes an armor save. Where is this charge happening? Yes, he's just, whoa, that's not... Wait, why did he charge the hotshot volley gun if he wasn't going to go into him if he can make the charge? Why eat that Overwatch? Oh, and the Guardsman forced an armor save? In Overwatch? Jesus. Micro's dice, no bounds.
Yeah, basically. They really don't. I think Micro's dice they're just they're the Pat Mahomes of Kill Team at this point. They can just pull off so many tricks that you just never see coming.
The classic mortal on a door technique. It's like the equivalent of the sidearm.
Yeah.
Nightfiend on routes could be an interesting move.
Yeah, I like this move. Because
4 attacks.
Yeah, it's 4 attacks against a toughness 2 model.
With no armor save, yeah.
Yeah. And then he'll be able, if he gets the charge off, he's going to get in on that model. He'll be able to pile in onto the objective. Depending on how he sets it up, it's kind of tricky just because of where Rouse is. But if he's able to kill Rouse, he'll be able to pick up a bounty, consolidate onto the objective, set him up for either just to sit on that objective turn 4 or charge the sergeant turn 4.
Rouse cannot take orders.
Yeah.
I don't hate this. I mean, it's not the greatest, but the charge was never going to be good anyway.
With the combat specialist Mandrake onto that point there, yeah. I like that move too. Because...
And on 5s, 4 shots, I mean...
Yeah, but do both hotshots want to put their shots into him? All right. So Manco's measuring out charges to the sergeant up there.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely rather go on Rouse.
Yeah.
Because chances of him fighting back and killing are way lower. Rouse, God, I keep saying the wrong one. Rouse is threatening that Shaken model. Yeah, I guess he's just going to go for both of them. I mean, he might as well declare neither of them can react.
Yeah.
Just what?
He's making me nervous. Okay, there we go. Okay, my beats still, my heart. Yeah, all right. Charging the Sergeant and Rouse.
Well, the Sergeant can't move. Yeah, there's no reaction from either of them. And that's a 9-inch charge. I believe that actually gets him to either one. And I mean, the right call, in my opinion, is not that.
No. No. He's thinking about it. Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I don't know why you do that instead
Yeah.
of... Because you
No.
can kill Rouse and then actually hold that point.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you kill the Sergeant, you consolidate on the point. You're just contesting it with Rouse.
that's right.
If you fail to kill Rouse, Rouse isn't going to kill you. If you fail to kill the Sergeant might kill you.
And now Rouse is open to take that 4.5-inch shot at the Mandrake, at the Shaken Mandrake down there at that point. Yeah.
So many things wrong, I think, with that play.
All right, popping back in
Yeah.
here. I was going to say, I also don't know. It allows him to take that shot. It might allow Rouse, if needed, to move towards the middle for domination in case that guy dies. I'm not 100% sure if he has the distance to get there, but just another possibility that he leaves
actually,
open.
yeah.
That he leaves
He
open.
certainly does. He certainly does get to domination, too. That's just another... Yeah, I really am not a fan of going onto that Sergeant. I mean, what even could he have gotten it? It was... I'm just going to measure it because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
He might not have even gotten to Rouse.
What I mean, he is re-rolling, but at that range, what's kind of like the cutoff for you, Shane, when it comes to re-rolling a charge? Like, what's the magic number on distance needed?
Is that just a flush wind? Wait, no, that was a... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a dead combat. So yeah, he's not getting recon sweep. That's another high profile. Yeah, that's game. Yeah, there was a path, and it directly involved that guy not dying.
Yes.
Oh, you know it, man. I mean, shooting with that hotshot volley gun, he's always gotten a 6.
Oh boy. Oh my God.
Oh.
Okay. Oh man.
Yep. Now he Scarper's in for domination.
Wow. Blackstone Guard are insane. Yeah, you were saying the little things, Aric. The little things that these models have in a vacuum when you're just looking at their data sheets alone. They look cute, they look gimmicky, but when you put them all together like this, it's just the sky's the limit with what you can do with this roster.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good roster too, but also the little things in like which model to charge out of those two models. Maybe earlier to charge instead of advance, or to have moved that model onto that objective. You think about the little things where, like Shane was saying, where the points were like they made it look close, but it wasn't close because of the break test and things like that. But realistically, had he made some of those moves, maybe the points are even a little bit closer and that road is a little bit more achievable, right? There's just a few tiny things like that by allowing Rouse to get off that shot and then move into the center instead of being in combat. But
Will he ever whiff with a hot shot volley gun? Just one series of shots, just
never,
without a hit.
ever.
Never once. Never ever once. Jesus. I am imagining that we see a scoop after this round. It doesn't get the feeling the pains, but he did get one of them. And then here's the injury roll, and of course he gets a 6. That's a dead guy. Yeah.
Well, Shane, all you have to do is defeat a mirror match, and you get to play against this Astra Militarum team.
Yeah, if I'm going to be brutally honest, the thought of playing on this map again, in any capacity, play any faction against any faction, just sounds awful. I've been grinding out Nova games just because I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. It's funny too, just because I mean how open it is, right? And then like but also how difficult it's kind of been too, because it's like at least a number of us have played LVO before too, right? So they basically mirrored all the objectives and things, right, as well. So
right.
It's like playing the same map but a more brutal version of it, and then on top of that you like you have it's even harder to move models because these weird towers, like everybody's struggling to get models through, and like I don't know, there's just so many things that
There's no vet move charge. I mean, a vet move charge is the kind of thing that beats a list like this.
Or that beats
like
a
list
map
that
just, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but like a list where like micros where where a good chunk of your team is sitting back and pitching a tent with long range weapons, you want to be able to vet move charge them, and you can't on a board like this. So that option of counterplay is gone. So your next hope is to hug cover, maybe get charges, but there's not cover to hug. It's just not there. There's maybe 1 or 2 spots, but the 1 or 2 spots that exist, you can just throw Gotfret over there and no longer safe. Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah.
We have Benji asking, what day is your game again? Is it Friday or Saturday? I don't even remember. I'm supposed to stream it.
Saturday right now.
Okay, Saturday.
Not Friday.
All right.
Saturday, 8 p.m. is what we're looking at. Eastern time.
Eastern time. Oh man, yeah. This is tough. I think there was a shot for the Druhkari here with this, like the setup and everything. I mean, it's hard. I picked Astra Militarum at the start when everybody was talking about Druhkari. I had Druhkari as my second, but I definitely, this Astra Militarum team, mind you, I lined up against like Micro with it twice, with teams that probably weren't the best in this meta, but I lined up against them twice, and both times it was just like checkmate by like round 2. Even round 1, I just felt like defeated already.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't blame you there.
Yeah.
I don't blame you there.
Yeah, I was trying some, less than meta or less than, packet friendly teams, and you think this is good against the packet friendly teams. Well, imagine what it does to the non-packet friendly teams. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most disparity I've seen in a packet. Well, I guess in a format for there's not a lot of things that are good on this. And the things that are good are very good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I still would have liked to have seen that AdMech team that you had discussed. I think that would have been interesting. Or some of the stuff that Biranid had also discussed too going into this that he decided not to run, decided to go with his Tau. But, then again, some of those were like a little bit more cheesy, a little bit more gimmicky. I don't know if they would have made as deep of a run, but I think they would have given some people competition.
Yeah, I think that the AdMech team would. I think they'd face similar struggles to the Druhkari here. It could maybe. There's no answer at 100 points to Gotfret. There really isn't. Even at 125, I think, right? Like 125,
I mean, he's definitely difficult to take out, even with Psychic. With my Grey Knights, I had
yeah. I
difficulty
mean,
taking him out. But if you
you
get
could say that like
lucky,
Psychic's the best thing against him, but he's also like the best thing against Psychic.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and Astra Militarum also have the ability for the 5-up feel no pain against Psychic or whatever it is, right? With their tactic.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
is it
throw that
just
on there.
a blanket 5-up? Not just for psychic, it's for any
any
mortal
mortal
wounds.
wound, yeah.
Right, right.
I think you just gotta right. You just gotta take that Dark Lance or that Blaster and hope that he fails 2 saves.
I think Manco is calling it because he just revealed a secondary, and
Yeah,
I don't even think he scored it. I think they're just talking right now.
yeah. Micro's gonna pile it on though. Chainsword coming at you. All right.
No hits.
I think he
Did he kill something? He might have
he
killed
did,
something.
yeah. He killed the guardsman on the central
Oh,
point
on the
there.
point. Yeah, you're right. So that's why
Oh, okay.
he scored cut apart. See, that's how out of it we were, just because of how far out of reach this game felt. Again, the score looks a lot closer than it
Yeah. Right now the
actually is.
score is 6-9 in chat. Can I get some nices in chat?
Oh, see, I was reading it as 9-6, but
No. Laugh at the funny number, Aric.
What is happening? Oh, look at that. Gotfret made a save. Against all odds. It's a true underdog story.
Yeah.
Oh, and he
I mean, after his
consolidated into
massive
Ryan.
weight gain, I wasn't sure if he was going to be going to be competitive. All right.
I think that's the closest I've ever seen him have Ryan and Rouse together.
Right. Isn't that disgusting?
Yeah, Ryan and Rouse was one of those models that I knew of, right? But I didn't think anything of them. Nobody was running them. Everybody was so on to the, Pius and the Gotfret. And then the first time I ran against them was against somebody in our local meta who plays guard. And he's like, I've been looking at them. They got these interesting things. And he really didn't think they were that good. And in our match, they did some work against my Tau. And they also just, the scurry thing is something else. And that charge and
Yeah.
just, here on a 3D map too with the grapple hook and like I don't know. There's just so many things that they can do, right? You're used to your normal models, especially at that cost at 9 points, right? You said each or something like that. Um, is like okay, I can do one thing with this model, right? Like this model's good at one thing, where these guys just have like so many options.
It's just a bunch of mini commanders. That's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
It's,
man, I didn't even think of that. How much even better are these in commanders? Right? Because now you're like, I
yeah.
guess they're just as good, but now you're supported by a commander as well. I don't know how really, man, Sly Marborough or whatever. I was looking at some of the commanders. He's got some sick stuff that he can do too. He can like, when he comes in from reserves, he can either like murder somebody with his knife or he can choose up to 6 enemy models and roll a d6 for, it doesn't matter where they are on the battlefield, I don't think. He can roll a d6 for each one, and if he rolls a 6, they take a mortal wound.
I'm sorry. Wait, hang on a second.
Interesting.
Can you repeat that for
All right.
for our audience?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up really quick just so that I get it 100% right here. I don't wanna screw this up. We have been talking commanders in the Discord. So okay, Lethal Ambush. This is part of Sly Marbo. He's only 55 points. He's a level 4 whatever the new specialist is. I forget the legendary hunter.
It's like stealth.
Legendary hunter. So lethal
Oh,
ambush.
okay.
When you set up Sly Marbo from reserve, you may choose one of the following. So there's Stalk with Blade, which you can immediately declare he will attempt a charge, but it can only be a D6 charge. So if you set him up within 5 inches of somebody, he can make a charge at them.
Oh.
And then Snipe with Pistol. It immediately shoot with his Ripper pistol when he comes in, as if it were the shooting phase. But this is Detonate Concealed Explosives. Roll a D6 for each of up to 6 enemy models on the battlefield. On a 6, the model being rolled for, and all models within 2 inches, I forgot about this part, suffer a mortal wound.
Huh.
All right, so let me get this straight. The model, it just chooses 6 enemy models, and they're at risk of
exploding. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure about commanders in a competitive format, guys. I'm not sure. I'll get back to you after like 2 months of playtesting.
When you first read it, it says roll a d6, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's how many you get to explode. But no, it's roll a d6 for each of up to 6 enemy models. Why you'd choose less than 6? I guess if there's less than 6 on the board. On a 6, that model being rolled for, and all models within 2 inches of it suffer a mortal wound. How absolutely bonkers is that? For 55 points. I'd take him just for that.
Points, dude. He's 55 points. Oh my god.
And his pistol and his blade always wound on 2s. Like,
all right, hold on.
Right.
They're not conceding.
Oh.
He's not conceding.
All right. My bad. Here.
I guess we should
probably pay attention
we
to
should
what's
look
going
at
on in the game, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so you can get cut apart. Yeah, you can't get recon sweep probably. It's probably not happening.
So he would
You're probably not going to get hold more, but let's say you do. You get 3 points there. That takes you up to 9, 10, 11. Cut apart would take you up to 12. I don't know how you're possibly getting all these. And then he could get recon sweep to take him to 13. And that would tie. And then assuming that Micro hold gets no points.
Yeah.
Then I guess he would win in the tiebreaker because he would have the
Micro just
the
picked
max
up a bounty
secondary.
hunter, so it's out of reach.
It's over. It's
which I mean, fair enough. Let them, if they'd like to play it out, they'd like to play it out. It's their game. But it does appear mathematically out of reach with that bounty now. And again, that was the idea. It was mathematically in reach if Micro scores nothing. So, and this guy's still caught up in combat with the Minotaur. The leader's still caught up in combat back here, and this guy's still caught up right here. So they're all caught up in combat. So he has the potential, I guess, for cut apart, but something tells me that, I don't know, Micro could just fall out of combat with these guys, right? If you know that cut apart is his objective.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just fall back and then just spike the ball.
Yeah. That's what he does.
Oh, here's a fun one too. Well, Sly Marbo's his tactic, Knife in the Dark. It's 2 command points, but use this tactic in the fight phase when Sly Marbo makes an attack. So if you slow roll your attacks, I believe you could choose to do it later. But before making the hit roll, if the attack hits, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. So if you slow roll and do that on like your last attack, I don't know.
What a freaking joke. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. So Manco is using Cruel Deception here on the Mandrake veteran, it looks like. I believe he pinged.
Okay. And that's to fall back and shoot.
Yeah. I think he's still within an inch. We'll have to pull him back a little bit. There you go.
Gonna shoot that poor innocent Gotfret.
What did he ever do to anybody, man?
Yeah, really.
Speaking of Astra Militarum and Dark Fortress Militarum, or whatever we want to call it, did you order those last few models yet, Ryan?
Oh, I got him on my shelf.
Oh, there you go. So
Yep, I got Gotfret, Ryan and Rouse, and Pius. Yep.
that's all you need. Well, and apparently now a Sly Marbo.
Dude, yeah, like no cap, I'm looking at him right now. That's just absolutely ludicrous. I gotta go and reread the Commander FAQ before I go, and then also I'm kind of reminding myself and encouraging other people to, I guess, kind of hold off on making investments into physical models for Kill Team right now, just because we don't know exactly what's going to be coming out early 2021. We don't know if it's going to be a whole new Kill Team, or how the annual is going to affect the meta.
Yeah.
So
No, for
that's
sure.
just something to consider.
For sure. Plus new models are on the horizon. Like they could be, they just redid the flayed ones. Maybe they're redoing Mandrakes, things like that. So if you are looking to get in on this Drukhari goodness, if you aren't going to be able to use the models for a while anyway, you might as well wait. They might have new ones coming out. But yeah, or you might just want to go Space Marines, because Space Marines and Necrons are going to get all the new stuff according to that that little sneak peek that we got. So
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
But I can't get elites for my demons.
nope. When that guy on Facebook said all kill teams are getting something, he meant all the kill teams they care about in the core book.
Yeah, I'm only 3 expansions behind at this point. Why not make it 4? I don't even... What's happening?
He did a tactical reroll. I'm not sure of what. Look, you two are. I'm just here hanging out at this point. This is on you guys. My phone died, so I don't have the audio of their.
I feel like I'm
channel
being
anymore.
held hostage at the commentary booth by these players.
Yeah, it's going on midnight for you guys, so I feel that.
We're almost there. We are almost there.
Yeah. Micro slow rolling attacks now, or what is he doing?
Jesus, are you serious?
I think that's an attack from Rhine, who hit and wounded a Mandrake. And then he's gonna scarp her, because he could just do that.
Oh, was that shooting his pistol because they were stuck in combat together?
Oh,
that's what it was.
That's probably
yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, because he consolidated into him before, I believe, or he might have scampered into him. I don't even know, because that's the thing. You can scamper in and out of combat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I mean, they're so tiny, right? It's like the Lord of the Rings, man, when they just squirm through people's legs and get out of there, and they don't get attacked. Slipping in and out. Some squat action.
Okay, let's see what we have here. I think a Mandrake is making a shooting attack. And he whiffed. Now that
how did that 5 not hit?
Well, it's got 2 flesh wounds.
Oh, and they're -1 to hit.
And they're shaken.
Yeah, I forgot. I was thinking, that's only melee that they get the bonus to.
Failed the armor save, made the feel no pain.
Where were these
that
rolls
will
earlier?
Ultimately. All right. Now we've got the.
Is that the first feel no pain that he's made?
Yeah, that was really the first feel no pain he's made. I think the Mandrake.
No hits.
Yeah, Mandrake whipped his shots into Gotfret.
Seeing him 6s.
Yeah. Now Rouse is going to shoot that Mandrake and miss. Hotshot volley gunner. Shooting into Mandrake on the center objective. I don't think any of those hit.
Did he just whiff with a hotshot volley gun? Could it be?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Of course, now when it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. Sergeant attacking into the Nightfiend. Wow. Okay. 2 hits. 1 wound on a 6.
All right,
Makes
guys,
the 5 up.
really quickly, I have one more thing. So this is more Sly Marbo talk. Level
Oh,
4. Level 4.
When does it end with
Level
this
4
guy?
of the Legendary Hunter specialism. So Legendary Hunter, one, they can come in anywhere when they come in from reserves, as long as it's 5 inches away from an enemy model. So it doesn't have to be on a board
And it's
edge.
free.
Here's, I don't know if it's free, but
I think it is, because
Okay.
it's not a tactic. It's just their like ability.
well, level 4 can only be used once per battle. But at the start of any movement phase, if there are no enemy models within 6 inches of this model, and this model is not shaken, you may remove the model from the battlefield and place them in reserve. So if you brought him in turn 1, use the
my
mortal wounds, you could pull
God.
him out turn 2 and jump him back in to mortal wound, because it happens at the start of the movement phase. So you could pull him out at the start of the movement phase and then bring him back in for a second round of explosives turn 2.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Guess I'm playing Astra Militarum, boys.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he works on the tournament packet.
Yeah, for sure. I know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I was looking at the
God.
the Canoness
She's
for
supposed to be pretty
Sisters
good.
of Battle.
Yeah.
She's got the this thing that she can take where she can do it once per battle. She basically, instead of shooting, she picks an enemy that within 12 inches and 2 models within 2 inches of that enemy, and they all just take mortal wounds.
Oh, the super
Oh my
psychic, right?
It's not even a sight. You don't roll for it. They just take it. You just look at them and they take mortal wounds.
It sounds fun just because of how ridiculous these models sound. Like, it's not even psychic, so it's not like you can have a psyker on your team, which is supposed to be like part of like the balancing factor of commanders, is everybody basically gets access to psychers.
Who needs psychers when you can just throw out mortal wounds to 6
Yeah,
different
exactly.
models on a roll of 6?
Who needs psychers when I can just have a model on the board that blows up half your kill team and then disappears into the shadows and then comes back later on to stab somebody in the back and just...
No, he blows them up again. He blows them up again.
He can do it multiple times.
Yeah, it's just when you bring him in from reserve, he has to choose one of those 3 things. It isn't you can only do one per game. It's the pulling him off the map. You can only do once. So you can bring him in and do the explosives twice if that's what you want to do.
Of course, it's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what I'd want to do.
That is ridiculous, man.
It reminds me a bit of Slaughter Zone, where like the campaignish kind of thing was like where certain terrain
narrative
would just
twists.
explode. Yeah, certain things would just explode, and this is like Marbo brings that to real life. It's just like, yeah, I was here before you, and I planted explosives on all of your bodies without you noticing.
Such a funny.
All right,
I guess let's
so it's
hop into their voice.
All right, yeah.
Oh.
Okie dokie.
right.
What is up, guys? Good game. Very, very tight start there. Kind of got away as the game went on. The Micro and his Astra Militarum did what they do best and just kind of, forced their will upon the map and didn't really let the Drukhari do what they do best, which is get into combat with somebody other than Gotfret.
Yeah.
So good
True.
good game. I know the other guys are going to have some questions. I took a few notes here, so I'm just going to ask one really quick, and then I'll
Hey,
send it over.
I'm so sorry. Can I interrupt for like a 10-second bathroom break? I've been just like sitting in this seat for 3 hours. Do you mind if we reconvene in like 20 seconds?
I'll ask Micro a question. You're good, dude.
Okay, cool.
Take care of business.
Thank you.
All right. So my first question was for Micro. I was told to take note of this during the game. When your boy Rouse was over here, when you brought him in off of his deep strike,
Yeah.
your initial scamper, instead of holding this objective and securing yourself hold more, you scampered him onto this tower. What was the thought there? What was the thought process there when you did that?
Yeah. Like I know in my last Druhkari game, we talked a bit about my game plan, which is really a lot about denying the opponent points over gaining my own. And so I was prepared to like give up hold more just to make the charge. See the guy like right here, right? I wanted that charge distance as far as possible because I don't want him getting in on Rouse next turn, getting like cut apart, bounty hunter, maybe consolidate. Like I don't know, maybe there was enough movement to he could consolidate really close to my deployment zone after that. And that would also give a spot for that guy to hide on an objective, not being shot while he's in combat. So it was really just a conservative play. Make the charge distances longer.
Fair enough. All right. Ryan, you have a question for Micro, or are we going to wait for Manco to get back here?
Manco's back. It was
there
a
you go.
P and fade. one CP.
So Ryan, do you have any questions for either of the guys?
Yeah. Just kind of like a general question for Micro. We've seen you time and time again just be able to use Gotfret in ways that are just like super hyper aggressive, basically, I want to say. Where like most people are content to like most players would be content just to push him into the middle of the objective and just have him kind of sit in the middle of the board and collect you domination for 3 turns in a row. But you kind of use them just to bully your opponent's models in whatever quarter of the board they happen to be. So I guess it's just like, what is like your typical game plan involving just Gotfret alone as a model going into games like this?
Yeah, I like to like turn 1, he's a great model just to like hold that objective, right? Get domination, get an objective, put him out in the open, and not worry about him getting shot at. But after that, I don't really like having a 20-point model doing nothing but be an objective holder. If I can like get him on a few of the opponents, like this game, he forced a fallback and made a charge. So that's like 2 models that he killed for a turn. That seems like a lot better for my action economy. I'm not too worried about him gaining control of the center, because if I don't have a model on there that he can't like hide in combat with, I can just shoot him off of it. And then I'll be hoping to use some of my like movement shenanigans or just bodies to hold it after that. So he's got so many attacks. He's Katachan Gotfret. If you're not being aggressive with him, like what are you doing?
Right. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Manco, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Druhkari.
Hey guys, yeah.
You had a really good run. This was like the second tournament that you've done, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. My first game of Kill Team was the pool play of Bats in whatever July, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. First of all, really good job making top 4 here. That's awesome. Don't let the Druhkari negativity get you down. You had a really good tournament.
I never did. I loved it.
Great. I just wanted to ask, so like as far as the roster building process, you went all Prophets of Flesh, right? Pretty much. You didn't have.
I haven't. So this is an interesting story that actually has more to do with the timing of the tournament. So my wedding got canceled. Oh, sorry. I'm presuming the question. Let me let you finish the question.
I was just gonna ask.
What the hell are you doing with your roster?
No, like what if you could go back after the tournament? Would you have taken Flayed Skull, or would you have stuck with the Prophets? Because it kind of seemed like you stuck with the Mandrakes most of the time.
Yeah. So if I could do it over, not even at the end of the tournament, after the first day when we submitted our rosters, I would have redone it. The issue was my wedding was canceled because of COVID, and then my wife and I decided to throw a family-only wedding anyway. So the day that rosters were due, we went over to our brother-in-law's house and like tried on suits and got food together. And so I just threw together models where if you put the models in a list, there was like a 9-point model, a 10-point model, an 11, and a 12, so that I could move them around in case I wanted a grotesque or whatever. And I just made sure it had enough mandrakes that if I didn't have time to plan something out, I would have a bunch of mandrakes. So my roster had really, really crappy thought put into it. The moment I had a day to think about it, I would have loved like some gunners with a dark lance, maybe a comms. I never did use a grotesque. Like I didn't have a Clavex. I don't think my roster building was anything noteworthy. So I would not. Looking at this, it is the story of how 8 little mandrakes and a growing understanding of the rules got to the final 4.
You hear that, guys?
The rest of my roster was garbage. I never took anything else.
Well, for what it's worth, you're clearly pretty good at this game. You picked it up pretty well. I'm excited to see how you do in future tournaments with more, I guess, roster building like prep. Now that you have this under your belt, and congrats on getting married.
Thank you.
And I think that wraps up that question. So, Oodsicle, you can go ahead and.
No, I made the charge here, and I could have re-rolled it, but I didn't think I could get better than a 9, so I just went for it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Because it kind of signals. Yeah, and Micro helped me with a lot of the measuring. So if you didn't see me measuring something, it's because he'd already established what the distance was.
Yeah. Love them. Love them sixes.
It's his favorite number.
Yeah.
One of my favorite integers.
No terminals. I'm. Yeah. In general, the hot shots underperformed a bit this, like, I think like turn 1, I think my hot shots whiffed all their wound rolls. At least 2 of them did. But yeah, I don't know.
I think most of it was the 1 damage injury rolls.
Yeah.
Which eventually caught up.
Yeah. Catch up in the end. But yeah, if you can't roll 6s, don't fight Druhkari.
Can you guys sorry, the chat, I guess you can't hear. Can you hear me now? I don't know. Sometimes oh no, the chat. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what's up with OBS, but every once in a while like the audio just gives out and I have to. Okay, now they have us all. I have to like unmute it and like or mute it and unmute it to like pick up again. I don't know why it does that. I gotta really figure that out. But anyway, sorry. Continue with what you guys were discussing. I was just noticing in the chat that they couldn't hear some of us. So
Yeah, roll sixes. Get into the finals.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So
Um,
one thing I felt self-conscious about was the veteran move. I had made a game plan of like trying to just like normal move here and then try to set up some turn 2 charges. And then for some reason, when Micro asked if I wanted to make a veteran move, it's like, well, he is a veteran. And I went for it. And then I just started grabbing at shiny objects a bit and straight for my game plan. Not to say that if I stuck to my game plan, it would have been a different outcome, but I got a little tilted, I think.
gotcha.
the veteran move is definitely interesting. It was I kind of liked it, but it was just hard with the flamer
Right.
parks right here, and you've got volley guns pointing every nook and
Everywhere,
cranny.
all over the place, and you can't hide from them no matter what you can do because of this freaking board.
Yeah.
It was a scary. Like, it gave me some really tough choices. Like, I wanted to have this heavy and the other guardsmen like behind this cover. But that was just way too
Yeah.
that vet. So it forced me to stick them in the open. I did my best to like screen the heavy with my guardsman.
Yeah,
noticed that.
I noticed that you were kind of using him as just like a literal
Meat
human
shield.
shield.
It was a bit of a backup plan there. But I wasn't expecting the veteran move to happen. So it wasn't something I'd accounted for. I think it was a good play.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Too hard
I
to-
was a fan of the veteran move.
Nice. It's hard to hear you over the thousands of screaming Druhkari fans. But I think you said you were a fan of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think nobody was really expecting it, and then like Shane said during the cast, with that 8-inch movement, they're one of the few models that gets enough movement that you don't need the advance into charge, which you can't do in this packet. So, and I mean, with that deployment, it kind of set you up, but it would have been a long bomb charge turn
Yeah.
1, and then Gotfret kind of did his thing and came in and screwed that all up. So, yeah, I will say, Micro, do you feel pretty confident going into the finals? I know you were stopped at that last step in BAO, right? You didn't make that final leap to tournament champion, but it seems like you're pretty dialed in against the Druhkari. Are you feeling confident about it?
I wouldn't say I'm overly confident. I know I've got a good chance. I've got like a good game plan. Druhkari is just such a flexible faction, though. I know this list hasn't been tested against the Cobblites yet,
Mm-hmm.
so that's still left to be seen if someone brings those out in the finals.
Yeah,
Um,
it is a best of 3 as well, so
I'm expecting that on at least a map.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
so
don't
you
know.
know, if
really
it's me,
I've made a good chance.
if it's me, I'm just gonna bring Grotesque. So just plan for that. You don't have to plan for anything else.
There you go. You
I
got
know you want me to think that you're kidding, but I also think you can actually do it one game. So it's not the worst.
Yeah. Well,
I don't-
Ryan almost took one against you, I think, right, Ryan? Wasn't that
Yeah.
the match you were
Yeah.
thinking about it? Yeah. There you go.
Very close to it.
You're in their heads, Micro. Keep it up.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna one of the games in the best of 3. I'm just gonna throw a Melta in there, try and snipe that Grotesque build off.
All right. Well, Shane, Ryan, you guys have any other questions or comments on the match, rather?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, Manco, what are you thinking about sticking with Druhkari? Looking at any other factions?
So I'm playing a couple other games just in a more social setting with Druhkari, and I really like the use of a mixture of Mandrakes and Cobblites. I've not yet found a time when a Grotesque was worth the cost. But I have to say, my love of Space Marines models from painting, Micro actually has been teaching me some painting techniques. is higher than my love of reading like 2,000 word essays of rules. So like I've yet to put together a Space Marine roster. So I think I'm gonna be Drukhari until I get the mechanics of the game like second nature. I want to minimize the factor of like novelty. So I'll probably play Drukhari for a couple more months until I feel more experience.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, TTS is nice, but it's definitely good. I think when you're starting and learning the game to stick with one team, so that you're not trying to figure out the rules of every different team that you jump to, as well as the rules of the game. But yeah, dude, that the veteran stat block I think is longer than probably all of the Drukhari stat blocks put together. So
I mean, it would be the entire Necron, like all of their data sheets could be contained within that.
It's literally 3 different data sheets crammed into a single. It's hard for me to talk about and not explode.
Yeah. I guess so. For everybody still watching, heads up that Manco is the guy that does he made the music for us for our intro on the podcast, our brand new intro.
Yeah.
So shout out to him for
music.
that.
Yeah.
And the mailbag music, which that is in the new episode.
Oh yeah, and V2 updated version on the way.
Wonderful. Yeah. So
are you guys wrapping? By the way, wrapping this up.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe so.
Can I give a quick plug?
Sure.
Micro obviously doesn't need this plug because I feel like your knowledge of the game is like super consistent. But just an amazing community on the Discord and using TTS. Like I played one game of Kill Team before the Bats tournament in a local gaming store, and it was like people just it was a bunch of Space Marine players punching each other in the middle of the board. No real like elegance to the game. And just since July, this has become like my favorite pastime. So thank you guys for making this community. I really enjoy it.
Of course. I'm glad that you enjoy it, man. Keep playing with us. You're a good player.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Come join us, everybody, in the Discord. You could be the next Manco. All right?
Yeah.
You could be the next one. Or the next Micro, the next Shane. You could win our next tournament, especially
Well, let's not go too far.
especially the Commanders, because all bets are off when it comes to Commanders. So
that's true.
Yeah.
No one knows what's broken yet.
We were just talking about some things during stream.
No one tell him. No one tell him.
We spent about
Nobody
spent this whole second half of that game just talking about Commanders, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it was looking like it was mathematically difficult, and we weren't sure if you were gonna throw in the dice, and so we started talking. I pulled up one stat block, and then the chat just went from there. So, yeah, we it's looking kind of crazy, but I mean, we got to get into that new packet that came out and see kind of what we want to do with it. But yeah, it's looking crazy. But yeah, no, dude, the Discord's great, and we're glad to have you and so many other people in it and playing in these tournaments, and new names kind of sprouting up, right? These are the names you're gonna have to look out for once we get back to playing in person. These are the names that are gonna show up on the ITC rankings lists. Look out for Manco. So, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, y'all.
Alrighty.
All right, Shane, I'll let you close us out.
Oh, me, really? Ooh. Yeah. All right, everybody.
Bow your heads.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching us riff over another game of Kill Team. Thank you, Manco. Thank you, Micro, for participating. Congrats on the top 4. Are we doing a third place game, by the way?
It's on the bracket. It's on the bracket.
Okay.
I don't know if it's actually
Manco. Maybe I'll have to face you in the third place game. We'll find out.
I told Micro before the game started that nothing could go wrong for me from now on, because I'm either in the top 4 losing to Micro, playing Shane, which means that I've played and eventually beaten all of the podcast hosts of all the podcasts I listen to, or getting to play Danger Fro, who put me out in the Bats tournament and just Drukhari retribution all over his face. So there's like no bad outcome for me.
Oh man.
Yeah, wow, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to stream Drukhari third place match, but I guess we'll.
No
Oh,
pressure.
You're gonna stream it and you're gonna love it. Oh
All right.
God. All right. Yeah, once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Love the interaction on Twitch chat. Love to get these streams going. Catch the new podcast. Support us on Patreon. It's our newest thing. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.